vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Thank you, John Larson. I receive your kind words on behalf of all of our courageous members of the House of Representatives who want the best for the American people. And what we can do that is best for them in the next 24 hours is to pass affordable, accessible health care for all Americans. The best for all Americans is to have 32 million more people to have health insurance in our country. The best for...
Piece of stinking filth.
Shh, say it again, Shal. This is AJ of the InfoWars. Listen to the Shaliak. This is Alex Jones of InfoWars. Listen to Shaliak on the Cold Reality News and Report.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Well, hello there.
Welcome to Cold Reality Radio here on the UCY.TV Broadcasting Network. Kind of a different format today, as I was having some internet issues earlier. I don't know if they've been resolved, but so I'm just kind of going through the old cellular phone here, and so a lot of developments this week. They named a warship after Gabrielle Gifford. Hillary was there. And so that's all fine and dandy. Kind of, I don't know, kind of a weird situation. But it's only the second time that they've named a ship after a woman.
No, it's not.
The second time.
16th
time? I don't know. I don't even know why anyone would listen to my program. I have no facts. It's all fake news. It's all.
It's the second time they named one after a living woman.
The second time. Why didn't they name it after the Hillary Clinton? Why didn't they just name it the Hillary?
Because they're waiting until she's dead.
Well, she's a robot, so she's never going to die. She's never going to die. She's going to kill us all.
When's that going to happen?
Oh, I don't know. It's fun.
Can I get a date on when she's going to kill you?
Anybody thinking about going to a Jack Johnson concert? Don't do it. Anybody who
I'm totally gonna get some Jack Johnson to fall asleep to every night.
I didn't even go, but I'm saying don't go. Don't go, because it's like, I was told it's like a Jimmy Buffett type of thing, where it's like a big party but not so upbeat, like frisbee and hacky sack and like illuminated beach balls.
I was told that I take expensive naps.
Yeah. I would have fallen asleep as well. Jack Johnson singing about Curious George. Didn't he do the soundtrack to Curious George?
Yeah, that was the best Curious George movie.
That might have been. I wasn't going to watch it. But Jack Johnson, That's probably not even his name. I'm going to look it up. It's probably...
Oh, he did have a little rap about...
It's really Jack Johnson's theme. Keep the beaches clean.
Yeah.
He's probably all for... Is he a green zombie?
Yeah.
He is? Did he talk about...
fucking pointing to me how to get to my house?
Hold on a second. So, where was I? You just do... When I point, just go. Stop arguing.
That's what I do.
You're driving and I'm navigating the thing.
No, navigate your show.
I am. I'm navigating the show. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be really, really hot today for the next 3 days, and I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of the heat. Yesterday it was warm, and yesterday it was warm, but not so humid. But just like any other like heat wave situation, the humidity and the moisture from down south comes up and just rapes us all. Rapes it's uncomfortable. It's not. And of course it's weird, but today I can see that they've already started geoengineering. And usually what they do is they will, if it's, I don't have my seatbelt on. I'm going to get arrested by the man.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to get arrested by the man.
We're in front of the police station.
Right in front of the police. So what they usually do is they wait until the end of the day to spray and then trap all the heat in so it's extra fucking hot.
I disagree.
Now that's what they do. But today...
every single morning.
Mm-hmm. Now, like when it's going to be really hot, that is when they want to exacerbate the whole global warming thing. So the people that have their heads tucked securely in up their hindquarters will be like, "Oh my God, it's so hot today. Okay, it's not even summertime. It's still spring, and it's just so hot. I can't wait till they enslave us with all of their global warming protocols." They got these people that call for them to hate the deniers, but then they just say, do whatever they want to do. And then you ask them, well, do you know what they want to do? Oh, yeah, they want to cut, carbon emissions. And it's like, do you know how they're going to do that? Do you know what the method is that they're going to use? And they don't know. They don't really know. They just leave it up to somebody else to save the planet. And whatever they have to do, whatever methodology that they need to use, it's okay.
Is that we all have to do our part, and cut our own carbon and reduce our own carbon footprint.
But what they don't realize, they get the carbon, the carbon monoxide, which is deadly, confused with the carbon dioxide, right? The CO2. And then they think that we have to cut that because it's going to kill us all because...
I want some carbon trioxide.
Right, exactly. So basically we have, a planet or plane of thumbsuckers. Just an absolute fucking thumbsuckers that... I even have, young people that are against. They were like, I'm glad that the Paris Accord was denied by Trump, which I don't believe, because all these other states and their governors and their douchebaggery authoritarian systems, their state governments are implementing these Paris Accord things anyway. So Trump says, we're not going to sign on to it. But then even these younger people that I mix around with every day, they still believe that it is real, but they, that it's, let's not do this.
Can you use words?
Let's not do this. Words. Don't start exchanging words with me, because I'll have to hand you something like experimentation. I'll write it down, and and I'll hand it to you, and that will be an exchange of words, and you'll be like,
Get out of the
Shali
car.
Lama is a fraud. That's what you'll write down.
Didn't the Dallas Goldbug say that already?
Dallas Goldbug called me Will Sasso when he thought that I was saying derogatory things about him. And so yeah, it's a little bit past 10 o'clock, and it's already quite steamy out. You know, like the news, but it's the 3 H's: hot, humid, and hazy. Now, the local news, they love to exacerbate everything. The stinkers. Just for the effect, you know. Just for the effect of it all. So, again, it's very, very crazy, the direction that this is all going in. I went to see David Robert Steele the other night. I think you guys know who he is. Robert David Steele, or Robert David Steele, I think it is. And he went to he was speaking at the Methodist Church in Philadelphia, and which is, by the way, it was right next to the Masonic. We were there. We were at the Masonic Temple. That's where. So it's right next to the Masonic Temple there in Philadelphia, right there on Market and Broad, or what they call City Hall, which our friend Clint Richardson said when he was there speaking at a conference. I want to say maybe it was like last year or the year before. He said that when he walked around the city of Philadelphia, it was nothing but Satanism, symbology, and all these other things that really, really stuck out to him. And so I thought that was pretty fascinating, Clint's breakdown of the. I looked for it when I was there, and I remember when we were walking through. Remember when we were walking under in some of these tunnels and stuff. I didn't really. Well, I don't. I'm not very observant. Okay, I mean let's face it. I'm not. On some level, I have some level of autistic spectrum disorder.
All old cities have that symbology in the older parts of New York City.
Yeah, but like gargoyles and shit. I think Clint was saying something about gargoyles.
Did you see Ghostbusters?
The new one or the old one?
Either one. But the old one.
The old one.
There's all kinds of evil stuff down there. They're in the sewers. Spirits are in
the gargoyles are in the sewers? The goyles of Gar?
The evil spirits. The gargoyles on the top of the building.
Game of Gargoyles. Been watching. It's funny. I've been watching a lot of that Norm Macdonald. We were watching a stand-up thing that he did just recently, and he's getting pretty old. But his claim to fame was his SNL news, where he probably did it for like 2 years, right? He probably did it for a good twist, and then. Apparently, because he would just totally rip into O.J. Simpson during the trial, after the trial, he apparently got the guy who fired him from SNL was friends with O.J. Simpson. So eventually, for some reason he got rid of him. And I remember that. It was like, Norm's not doing SNL news anymore. And it was like, oh, that sucks. People were jumping off buildings, jumping in front of oncoming trains.
That's true.
And but he's been doing some podcasts and things, and it's pretty silly. But if you like his kind of comedy, I would suggest that you maybe check it out. He said Game of Thorns the other day. What is this Game of Thorns? And the guy's like, oh, it's not. I had to correct him. But it's I'm going to try to set this up here and go from the phone to an actual internet connection so that it can sound professional, which the show never is, honestly. It's just an amalgamation of just partial to saturated just banter. I honestly, I mean, I listen to some of my shows and I'm thinking, other than like having Clint or Patrick on, or some of the, like last week I had Chuck Ocelli on where we had a good conversation. Other than those moments, I can't imagine anyone would want to listen to this. But everybody's doing podcasts now, right? See, so it's and she's biased, so it's it's like you bring. Well, what was interesting was like last night I went to a coworker's reception for his wedding that actually took place months ago, but he wanted to have a reception for his family and his friends and stuff. So he invited the Shali Lama, and he was asking me about. I was talking about some things at work, and then he would honestly like walk up to me and say, hey, I heard you were talking about like flat Earth type stuff. He said, do you have any like information? Like, because he has a friend or a family member that is interested in that well, that is actually contemplating the fact that, you can't say fact, right? But it's quite possible that we've been lied to about so many things. And I think that when you reach this level and see the deception, you see that these governments and these banking families and these bloodlines, like these European bloodlines and monarchy and their relatives, like Barack Obama, George Bush, Reagan, Jimmy Carter, even Carter being one that kind of stands out a little bit because I think he actually is repentant of some of the things that he had to do as a president, making statements like the things that you do as president make you, not eligible to be. I mean, I'm paraphrasing like I do with all my fake news. So
he said the things you have to do to become president.
Become president, right?
Should make you ineligible.
Make you ineligible to be president. But the only thing that makes you eligible to be president is being part of this bloodline. Now, I haven't seen too many things regarding Jimmy Carter in Clint's work and a lot of the things that he did with his genealogical studies while on RBN. But it could be that he's Carter was probably on the outer circle of the demonic possession of the planet.
You should look into that.
I want to. I don't want to hate on Jimmy Carter. A lot of people hate on Jimmy Carter. One of the main reasons why they hate on him is because he's called Israel an apartheid regime, and he said that for a number of years now. I mean, of course, you can't say things like that about God's chosen people because then you will be demonized by those in the U.S. media and the U.K. media mostly because of the Jewish influence that is me too, but I'm stuck here. So Carter. I hope I'm even broadcasting out on it. I'm actually just going through the Skype app on the phone. I don't know how it sounds. Maybe I'm going to tap into Jake Tapper into what's going on out there and see what's happening. See if I can get this thing up and running. I got to hook up no, I should turn that off first. And then, anyway, so it was nice to, be around some people that actually contemplate. And I said, well, the bottom line here is that there are no conspiracy theories anymore. Just basically, conspiracy fact. And because of this conspiracy fact, we, which only, only a small percentage actually deal in. They deal in reality. We need to understand that people don't want to delve into the reality of. They don't want to delve into the reality of these horrors. I mean, let's face it; these are horrors. These are the things that go on, the things that that a lot of the people on UCY, a lot of the other people in the alternative media, the things that Jules has been just feverishly, covering and reading about with the vaccines and the technology that of the things that they want to do. The things that Patrick Jordan talks about with the CRISPR and how they're going to do gene splicing and they want to do, or they probably have already done it, like we always hear in 2017, if you hear CRISPR, chances are they've been using this technology for some time now. So that's, that's the whole reality on that front. So I apologize for the unorthodox setup here today, but it's as I was having some issues earlier today with the consumer internet, and so that has trickled into this. So I wasn't quite sure what the situation was, and I put Jules on alert, and then my phone notification wasn't saying, so she had gotten back to me at like 9:15, and then I just decided. But it looks like the internet is back up here. But I was out of the Cold Reality studios. Which is, really, truly just a fictional place. It's really just a coffee table. So I'm going to try to swing this together here, and you might get like some dead air for a minute or so, and then from there we can resume from. Some dead air, but then we can resume from there. Okay, so I'm prepping the situation here for that transition to get it over to the other platform. So let's go ahead. Can we get? Let me see here. Testing 1 2 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 1 2. Is that this mic used to have a lot of pep, but now it's kind of lost some of that. But I'm going to transition over, and then I'm going to pick up. So it could be a minute or two of dead air. So I'll be right back. Hey now, I think we're back on the setting here. We're back, I think. Methinks. Gonna check over at UCY, see if things are coming through there. Everybody got me back here at 10:28. All right. I think we're back on here. Back on the platform, the low cut. I didn't get that thing going there. All right, welcome back here to the Cold Reality Radio on the UCY. Sunday, July 11th. And hello to everybody in the chat room there. Okay. So, as I was saying, number of just weird type stories that I was seeing in the local news about a girl who was in southern New Jersey who was killed for her bicycle parts, and there were two black teenagers who were responsible for her death, and which is, the whole situation very tragic, and you just really can't even imagine how somebody would, or anyone would, do such a horrible thing to someone else. These are the things that we think about, that we contemplate. Why would someone
do something like this. So what the family is calling for on this anniversary of this tragic event is for parents to be responsible for the actions of their children. One example was that if a child breaks a neighbor's mailbox, say, it's the first thing that comes to mind, breaks a window, a car window, something like that, and the parent would then be responsible for rectifying that via paying for it. And so what they're calling for is for the parents of anyone, any child, teenager that would kill or harm another individual in any way, for those parents to be responsible for that incident. Would they then have to, do time? I guess you could say that, the parents, if you could go in and look at a man and a woman whose child goes out and harms someone else to the tune of, taking that life, what would it look like? What would the punishment look like? What would that punishment look like? Would they spend time in jail? Would there be a trial to say, hey, you have to, you're going to be in court now, and we're going to have like character witnesses, things like that, and then determine whether this parent was a bad parent. Look back through the records, look back through history, and find out whether the parents were, there was a history of domestic violence or whatever. It just seems to me that there are ways to go about things like this, but to give the state more power to judge a parent for something, to judge it's I guess like, be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. I guess that would be the question to ask. And so, even though we have all these drunk driving protocols in place, there are still people getting out there, doing things, putting themselves at risk and injuring and or killing other people on the road. People driving into, after killing people, then driving into a pole, Yeah, this is, try to get this. That's for some reason can't seem to get this page to do anything. That's odd, but honestly, I think the internet here is being hacked. This is abnormal. The speed is abnormal. The speed of it is abnormal, and I don't know. It's happened before, and I think I remember why it happened, why it took place, but. Let's see here. Many different things. It's amazing how the news will. There will be news that gets reported, but then you will hear nothing about it. You will hear nothing about it on. It's not. I don't even know why I even said that. Why it's weird. It's part of the protocol to not report anything that has any substance that would give anyone an idea of how fucked up things are. Of course, this week with the Comey revelations of basically exonerating Trump from any of these allegations. And then, of course, with Trump able now to rip into Comey and say the guy is he's just a bad guy. He's a liar. But again, after sitting for an hour and a half and listening to Robert David Steele, what is it? Oh, I can't. What is it? I'm fucking up that name. Yeah, it's Robert David Steele. And I wonder if somebody must have put this up on the internet by now. Somebody must have uploaded this. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So it says part 1, 3 days ago. Let me see if I can play a little bit of this here, of what was actually there for this. So let's see. And I wonder if... All right, let me go back here. Kill this from stealing bandwidth. Get a little bit of this here.
Multi-millionaire for his newsletter. But Ron Paul does stand for liberty, and he does stand for small government. And I do like to point out to people, we're the United States of America. The Electoral College exists because otherwise we would be run by assholes from New York and California. So the Electoral College is how the 50 states, flyover the country, is represented.
I'll be right back on this.
All right, so I will start. Okay, this is the official commencement. God bless all of you, and God bless America. I am so honored to be here in this beautiful church in Philadelphia. I won't tell you a lot about me. You know I'm a former spy. You know I created the Marine Corps Intelligence Command. You know I ran a company, Open Source Solutions, for many years. Trained over 7,500 people in open source intelligence. And then, by the hand of God, I lost my company. I was having a routine security interview one day, and they said, well, you haven't listed many foreign contacts on your SF-86, which is our security form. I said, no, I'm not sleeping with any of them. And they said, okay, so tell us about all of your foreign contacts. And so I told them about all 7,500, each of whom had a one-page dossier in my office. Imagine 3 little chimpanzees jumping up and down in a small room. That was the reaction of these idiot security officers. They stripped me of my clearances, which cost me my contracts. I was grossing $1.7 million a year as a single employee, and blew up my business. And God bless them for doing so. Even though a judge gave my clearances back within a few months, what that did was put me on a path to the Nobel Peace Prize, to the nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't deserve the prize. I've said that in frequent videos. I would like to help Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Modi in India earn a Nobel Peace Prize by lifting the world up with open source everything engineering, which can accomplish all 17 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals without the United Nations, which is a massive corrupt bureaucracy, nepotistic corrupt bureaucracy. And we can do it for 10% of the cost of Western engineering. I'll just give you one quick example to make the point. This is really huge. A John Deere tractor costs $200,000, and all of the software in that tractor is secret. It can't be repaired in the field by the farmer. An open source tractor that Marcin Jakubowski has built, and he genuinely deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. He's built 55 open source machines for the global civilization, global village toolkit. His open source tractor costs $20,000 and can be repaired by the farmer in the field with plug-and-play parts. So $200,000, secret, proprietary, expensive, $20,000. That's the difference. We can lift the entire world up in less than a decade at 10% of the cost of what the Western engineering model does, because the Western engineering model is captured by financial and legal straitjackets that basically make it impossible for people to lift themselves up. So what I'm going to do tonight is 3 things I've never done before in the same presentation. First, I'm going to talk about the deep state and what is the deep state and how can we take down the deep state. And this is addressed to Donald Trump because I published a Kindle Trump Revolution series that has been popular. And also every title in my Kindle series is free online if you look for the title. So I'm not pimping the 99-cent books. So I'm going to talk about the deep state, how to take it down. Then I'm going to go over the 8 big ideas that I've been trying to communicate to Donald Trump since December of 2015. And it's a sign of how corrupt the people around him are, including Reince Priebus, who I've described as a traitor. Because Reince Priebus, apart from being Paul Ryan's boyfriend, is someone who does not want to unrig the system. He likes the rigged system. He is the rigged system. All right? And then after I finish these 8 ideas very quickly, I'm going to talk about the 12 points in the Election Reform Act. I had to run for president in 2012, one of 3 people accepted by the Reform Party as a candidate. I pulled out after 6 weeks. Andre Barnett had done a better job than I, and he was clearly the favorite candidate, but I learned a lot. And one of the things I learned was that we have 8 accredited political parties in the United States of America. Constitution, Green, Libertarian, Natural Law, Reform, and Socialist are the other 6. And of those, the Green and Libertarian parties are the most important, and then the Constitution Party. We also have small parties that cannot gain traction, like the Justice Party with Rocky Anderson out in the West, and Working Families with Bill de Blasio in New York. We have a rigged system. It's rigged 12 different ways. And I've spent the last several years aggregating ideas from everybody who's ever thought about election reform. And so I'll end by talking about that. Please hear me clearly. If we were to have a national conversation in June, and if we were to occupy the front lawns and home offices of every member of Congress in July, force them to sign the integrity pledge, we could get the Election Reform Act passed in September in time to change 2018 and put a swing vote into Congress. And that would then lead to evidence-based decision-making in the U.S. government. Many people don't know that it was Newt Gingrich who destroyed Congress. This is told in a book, The Power and the Ambition. By the way, I'm the top Amazon reviewer for nonfiction. I read in 98 categories. And all of my reviews are summary reviews, so they're like Cliff Notes for smart people. Newt Gingrich turned all members of Congress into foot soldiers for the party. They no longer represent their constituents. And that's the lack of integrity that we have to correct with this Election Reform Act. So let me start with an overview of the deep state. Most people make the mistake of thinking that the deep state, which Peter Dale Scott wrote the original book on it, but it's my interviews on alt-right that have made deep state a term of reference. It's now even the fake news media has to respect. The people in the two-party tyrannies and in the government bureaucracies who are part of the deep state are the best of the servant class. They're not actually the deciders. The deciders are the Rothschilds and the Jesuits. And they had actually been intermarrying for centuries. We have what we call secular Jesuits, and the Rothschilds and the Jesuits go along. They're above the white pope. The black Jesuit pope is above the white pope, who's a Franciscan. And the Rothschilds are above the Queen of England. And they're above the City of London and Wall Street. And we have legalized massive crimes by these banks, to include manipulating foreign exchange and interest rates. Some of you may remember the Libor scandal in London. These people were caught actually manipulating interest rates. They laugh at Trump. They consider him a chump because he's making small money with construction. When Goldman Sachs wants to make a lot of money, they start a war. And that drives up the price of oil and does other things, okay? So I cannot overstate the degree of evil that exists in the banking system as it responds to the Rothschilds and the Black Pope, the Jesuits. Then the banks essentially fund two-party tyrannies in each country. And one of the things that's fascinating about this pound sign unrigged that Cynthia and I have gotten going is that it's now going international. Half of my donations are from foreign countries, particularly Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom. They all see, the United Kingdom Independence Party sees that there is a two-party tyranny that they have to defeat in order to restore integrity. So the deep state comes from the Rothschilds and the Black Pope down to the City of London and Wall Street, and then down to the two-party tyranny, one word, two wings, same crap, okay? And then it goes down to the secret intelligence agencies, so that the blackmailers and the enforcers. People don't realize that CIA, the FBI, by the way, the FBI was founded by a pedophile. J. Edgar Hoover used to take small children as gifts from the mafia. Okay, pedophilia is very big in all this. And I shot my documentary with Steven Seagal on pedophilia is the Achilles heel of the deep state. And Trump knows that. They're in a panic. Jeff Sessions has arrested 3,000 low-level people, and they're working their way up. And as soon as we get William Binney into the NSA databases, the rest of them are toast. Because we have every phone call and every email sent by every lead pedophile in America for the last 15 years, as well as every traitor, 500 of them across the U.S. government. It just hasn't been processed. NSA only processes 1% of what it collects. And NSA does not provide support to the CIA or the FBI. The Secret Intelligence World is a bunch of stovepipes. And then the secret services run the media narrative, okay? So basically Crap News Network and Fox News, 3 idiots in the morning, 5 at night, and the New York Times, the Washington Post, this is all crap, okay? Massimo Calabrese used to be a friend of mine 20 years ago, and then he lost his integrity when he became the Time Bureau Chief in Washington. His cover story on the Russians hacking the election could have been written by someone on the covert action staff at CIA. It was John Brennan's narrative. I will say clearly, John Brennan is a whore for Saudi Arabia. John Brennan has sold his country out. The Russians did not hack the election. Hillary Clinton stole 13 primaries from Bernie Sanders using electronic voting machine tampering. At Stanford University has documented that in a white paper. Okay, Hillary Clinton's the only one who tried to hack the election. We now know that Seth Rich was the primary leader for the DNC. We now know that Podesta was done in by a Romanian taxi driver, Gusever, using antiquated equipment. We now know that the last bit that flipped the election was not only stopping the theft of the same 13 states from Donald Trump, but her spaz attack in New York, and the New York Police Department leaking some final emails which demonstrated conclusively that Hillary Clinton is a traitor, probably a pedophile, and absolutely a high-level thief. The meter laptop has 650,000 emails. That may be exaggerated. Let's call it 65,000, but 650,000 is what's said. They documented conclusively, A, that she had sent classified information to IP addresses in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. And by the way, they're throwing Qatar under the bus. The real criminals in the Middle East are Saudi Arabia and Israel. And Zionist Israel, not the loyal Jews in Israel and in the United States.
Why did Trump just give them $110 billion?
I don't know. Hold the questions to the end, okay? Because I do want to answer every question. You have my record is 8 hours and 1 minute. 7 hackers on planet Earth in 2010. But the emails documented pay to play. She sold Libya to the French. She sold Syria and Yemen to the Saudis. She sold U.S. uranium to the Russians. All for massive amounts of money. In fact, she also sold the NATO Secretary Generalship to the Norwegian Prime Minister, who the Norwegians are now very ashamed of. Okay, so the Clinton Foundation is perhaps the world's biggest charity fraud outside of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is sterilizing women worldwide with fraudulent vaccines. Okay, so that's the deep state. I have to say that the academicians have also lost their integrity. We no longer do critical thinking in this country, and we in fact have downgraded all of our universities with adjunct faculty that work for $5,000 a year for a course, and they don't have benefits. The religions and the labor unions have also sold us out, and they basically accepted all of this as the way of doing business. I sat in a room with 40 other CEOs from nonprofits, and halfway through the meeting I realized they all understood the two-party system. They all understood how to get money from both the party in power and the party out of power, and they were terrified of the idea that Congress might actually stop giving nonprofits taxpayer money. Okay? So the whole system is, as Donald Trump has famously said, rigged. Now, why should we take down the deep state? Because until we take down the deep state, we will be slaves. We will be the oppressed. And those of you that came in late, I said earlier, we're all black now. Everything that's been done to the black people for 200 years is being done to the white people now. And for the first time, I think, a lot of angry white people are starting to get that.
All right, so that was like the first 15 minutes or so of what he was speaking about. I'll post that in the chat room, and be on the lookout for part 2 of that. And be on the lookout for part 2 of that one. Be on the lookout. It should be under that, just, I guess, subscribe to the RSIRCHIE group, and then you'll get part 2 and part 3 possibly.
Now you shred.
All right. UCY.TV. Sunday lineup. You've got our friend Rockin' the Boat coming up next. Ron Stevens. And we've got Hal and Clint and his archives of the Corporation Nation. I believe we probably also have, let's see here. I believe we have the Corbett Report possibly today after. Let's see, we've got. All right, yes, we've got, right, Rock the Boat coming up next, and then at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, the Corbett Report. 3 to 5, we've got Behind the Woodshed with Hal Anthony. From 5 to 7, the Corporation Nation Archives with our friend and all-around good guy, Clint Richardson, sacrificing so much to bring us reality and the meaning of words. Character Matters with Dr. George Simon from 7 to 8. Jay Dyer and his analysis at 8 o'clock. And then Voice of Rebellion Radio with Chris J from 9 to 11. And then 11 to 12, we have Live Free FM with Nathan Frazier. UCY.TV is the platform. Jules has had this ship a sail now for many, many years. I've been here for, Christ, has it been 3 or 4 years? 3 or 4 years now. And she had the ship rolling down the river in, I want to say, way before 2012, I want to say. And the website and the archives on the site, and then, of course, over on YouTube, all the programs are over there for you to pull them right from the those teeth right from the mouth of the global dictatorship. That's the only way. I went all Satriani, apparently. I'm not as creative as Joe Satriani, but thank you for making a connection there to the Satriani. He was much better than me after 10 years of playing, I'm sure. It's taken 30 plus years to even be able to do this. But if you have a special connection to UCY and you listen to it on a daily basis, and if you hang out like our good friend Chemtrailer here in the UCY lobby chat, and Hopper HB and all of the amazing people out there, I appreciate that. If you were entertained, I appreciate you telling me. And that was. I'm going back in chat history. Yeah, I do kind of play here from time to time, and I plan to do more of it. It's my way of just kind of there's a lot of negativity out there, and you get blamed for telling people the truth. They don't want to know the truth. Every now and then you run into somebody who's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of ready to hear what's going on. I'm kind of ready to hear. I'm kind of ready to be hearing, you know." So then but even still, there's so much horror in it. I try to break it up with a little bit of music, hopefully some more comedic type songs and satire. Gonna work with Chuck Ocelli. He's kind of on the same wavelength. He wants to bring people information, but at the same time, he wants to be able to make people. He wants to be able to entertain people, make them laugh. So we're going to be doing a bit of that here and there. We do have a kind of a responsibility. Very, very few step up to the table. I wouldn't even call what I do really, really stepping up to the bat. I'm more of just bunting. I'm more like just being called off the bench to more like being called off the bench to take a pitch, to get hit with the ball, like major leagues or whatever, where that guy was like, you go there and he says, step into the pitch. That's my job, to step into the pitch. That's Jules' job, to step into the pitch. And so, getting around to my point, make a donation to UCY. If you spend a lot of time here, if you have a connection to other people here, and it makes you, it makes you feel like, you're part of a family type situation. If it gives you, if you smile, or something good happens to you while you're listening to UCY, any one of these amazing programs, many of them, much better than this, much better than the Cold Reality. Maybe better show names. But if something makes you smile, or the information you get here empowers you and makes you feel like you're getting close to answering that question, like, what the fuck am I doing here? What are we doing here? We've got guys like Clint, who's sacrificed so much, Jules, who have sacrificed so much, Patrick Jordan, who has sacrificed so much. To be able to try to answer that question, why are we here? What are we doing here? Throw a couple bucks at UCY. And if you can't afford to, just send Jules a chat message saying, I really appreciate what you do. I really appreciate what you do. It'll mean a lot to the people that make all this stuff possible. All these this website, this chat room, this platform to speak, to play music, to laugh, to cry, to whatever. The world's not getting any better out there, and if you feel like you're part of the UCY family, make a donation or just send a nice message to somebody, or go over send Clint a message and saying, I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate your sacrifice. Go to General Portal and say, Patrick Jordan, thanks for your sacrifices. Jules, thanks for your sacrifices that you made in your life to bring this information to us all. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy Rock the Boat with Ron coming up in a couple minutes, and make it a great day. Father's Day next Sunday. Let's make it a great week. Let's do something positive. Let's make something happen.
There is only one holistic system of systems. I will MK Ultra ya. Put the MK scope on ya. If the MK hits you, it's guaranteed to open ya. The 57mm Mark 110, 220 rounds a minute, try to stop them. Don't put that on your wish list, that's retarded babble. Protesters make the hit list soon as they start to rabble. They are nothing but fishes in the barrel. It doesn't have to be Christmas for a carol. Some decorate with ornamental decorum. Some perform shocking on Hanukkah and Purim. That's where my job come in. I am a blessing to the mercenary for the corporation selling weapons to them. Any potential competitor step into them. I'm authorized to knock them out and stick a GPS into them. They want to sell uranium to Iran. That's rich, that's a bitch. Now we gotta teach a lesson to them.
You are listening to UCY.TV. Why don't you stick around for more awesome radio?